Hello and welcome back to Eurofootball Daily. With clubs likely to face financial restrictions this summer, every team is looking for cheap release clauses, free agents and expiring contracts which could help them rebuild on a shoestring. So today we've listed 10 players who could improve your club for a pittance next season. Let's get into it. 10. Axel Disasi. Any conversation about bargain transfers is sure to throw up links with Arsenal, and the Gunners have been heavily rumoured to have found a cheaper alternative to Dayot Upamecano for this summer's window, Reims' Axel Disasi. When Ligue 1 was cancelled, the northeastern side were in 5th and had the best defensive record in the division, with just 21 goals conceded in 28 games, with Disasi playing all but one of these, the second most used player at the club. The 22-year-old centre-back stands 6'3" and has looked assured in his first top-flight season, winning 75% of the challenges he's attempted. Truly dominant in the air, he comes out on top in close to 60% of his duels, and is arguably his team's most important passer, seeing more of the ball than anyone else and playing more long balls than anyone except keeper Rajkovic. He's also always in the right place in his own penalty box, leading Reims in shots blocked and clearances completed, displaying a nose for danger which Mikel Arteta's backline has sorely missed this campaign. A contract expiring in 2021 has seen Disasi's asking price drop to just €15 million, making this transfer coup affordable even for the cash-strapped Gunners. Don't be surprised if the youngster joins countryman William Saliba in a new-look rearguard next campaign. 9. Pierre-Emile Højbjerg. Just a quick reminder before we move on to our next section to subscribe to Eurofootball Daily and hit that notification bell to never miss one of our fantastic top 10s. Another player in demand in North London this summer could be Southampton's Pierre-Emile Højbjerg, who will also enter the final year of his contract next season. A Champions League and two-time Bundesliga champ at Bayern Munich, Højbjerg would fit nicely into an elite pressing side, having cut his teeth under Heinkes, Pep Guardiola and now Ralph Hasenhüttl by the age of 24. In fact, by the numbers, the Dane looks a lot like a cut-price Thomas Partey. Matching the Ghanaian's 4 tackles and interceptions per match, Højbjerg is smooth on the ball, completing close to 1.5 dribbles a game with a 75% success rate, again similar to the Atleti man. He's a high volume passer too, getting on the ball more than anyone else at St Mary's, and while his 77% accuracy looks poor, that's because Hasenhüttl asks his team to get the ball forward quickly. Højbjerg actually has the third best completion rate at the side, and more importantly gets the ball into the final third nearly 5 times a game. Last season he was even better, moving his side into the danger zone 7 times per 90, 13th best in the Prem, ranking between Jorginho and Pogba. Unlikely to sign a new contract and just hitting his physical peak, if Højbjerg's agent is any good, the midfielder should be starting for a Champions League side next campaign. 8. Ryan Fraser. 2019-20 has been a sharp return to earth for Ryan Fraser. Just a year ago, the Scot was heavily linked with Arsenal after coming off a season in which he'd bagged 21 goals and assists in the Premier League. But this year he's on just 5 goal involvements after 28 appearances and will enter the summer transfer window as a free agent, with clubs unlikely to be handing out lucrative contracts. While he may not be a top talent, Fraser is clearly a useful player. Extremely fast and strong for his size, XG suggests he should have a couple more goals this campaign, and he hasn't been helped by Bournemouth's decline across the board. Where last season the Cherries managed 1.5 XG a game in attack, Fraser contributed 0.6 of that. This year they're at just 1.2, slipping from 7th in the Prem to 17th. However, the 26-year-old still creates around 2 chances a game, and while he remains a strangely infrequent dribbler, managing just 1 take on every 2 matches, he wins territory for his team by getting fouled, and is almost never dispossessed. In our opinion, Fraser is not good enough for a super club, but an ambitious side in need of depth like Wolves or Sheffield United should take a look at him when the window opens, whenever that may be. 7. Malang Sarr. If you want a quality young defender, your first stop should be France. Les Bleus' international squad is so stacked that Clement Longley has 7 caps and Aymeric Laporte 0, while their under-21 team features Upamecano, Zagadou, Konate and Nice centre-back Malang Sarr, who is free to leave the Côte d'Azur this summer after 15 years with the club he joined as a 6-year-old. Despite his age, Sarr has over 100 Ligue 1 appearances under his belt, and that experience coupled with his pace and left-footedness should make him a hot property on the transfer market. Aggressive and quick to read play, Sarr wins around 3.5 tackles and interceptions a match, but his clean technique means he only commits a foul every 2 games, and he's decent in the air too, coming out on top in roughly 2/3 of his duels across his career. Having started for the Eaglets under Lucien Favre and Patrick Vieira, he's also a strong distributor, completing over 70 passes a game at a 90% clip, and even hitting 4 successful long balls, which could improve as he ages and perfects his technique. Sarr could well be good enough to make a long-term home at a side like Man United or Inter Milan, but they'll need to move fast to secure his signature. A 21-year-old who won't cost €1 is sure to attract attention from big clubs across the continent. 6. Marten de Roon. Somehow 15 points off the top when Serie A was suspended, despite expected points putting them in first, Atalanta remained the continent's most enjoyable side, with the best attack in Italy this campaign. However, Ledea's defence is underrated, with only Inter Milan and Juventus allowing fewer expected goals to date. And the linchpin of their flying 3-4-1-2 formation is Marten de Roon, who arrived in Bergamo from Middlesbrough in 2017. Then recently relegated, de Roon has missed just 10 games in the 3 years since, and last season led his team in terms of tackles and interceptions with close to 5 per game. This term that's dropped to 3, but de Roon is doing more chance creation than he did before, laying on 1.5 goal scoring opportunities per 90 and playing more progressive passes than ever, with only centre-back Rafael Toloi moving the ball into the final third more often than the midfielder. As a result, he's scored 1 and assisted 4 in just 19 league starts, and has played more minutes than any teammate in the Champions League, helping Atalanta reach a first quarter final. Now 29, de Roon is not a long-term prospect, but clearly has the versatility to contribute to a big club for another 2 or 3 years. With his contract up in 2021 and a market value of just €19 million, he could be a good upgrade on Thomas Delaney for Borussia Dortmund. 5. Adolfo Gaich. Between Messi, Aguero, Dybala, Icardi, both Carreras and Lautaro Martinez, the Argentinian national team is stacked with attacking options. So it's impressive that San Lorenzo's Adolfo Gaich already has a cap to his name at the age of 21. The 6'3" forward, who can thank his German ancestry for that unfortunate first name, is out of contract in 2021, and currently has a buyout clause of just €12 million in his contract, with Everton and Barcelona reported as interested in January 2020. Given his size, you'd expect Gaich to be a classic target man, and he does contest the second most headers at his club, but he's also useful with the ball on the deck, attempting around 3 dribbles a game and completing 2/3 of those. He's also an active presser and happy to break up opponent attacks early, committing the most fouls at his club with over 2 a game. But of course he'll be judged on his scoring, and while Gaich is not a regular starter yet, he has bagged 5 goals in just 653 minutes this season, meaning that despite playing under a third of the available game time, he's San Lorenzo's second highest scorer. Gaich is far from a sure thing, but his combination of speed and size suggests that he would pose problems to even top-level defences and be worth the low-cost punt for a mid-table team. 4. Riqui Puig. If you spent a few days at La Masia, you're bound at some point to be heralded as the next global football superstar, but for Riqui Puig there may be some truth to the hype. Though the midfielder has just 6 senior appearances to his name at the age of 20, Barcelona have already received proposals for the youngster from Spurs, Betis, Celta Vigo, Granada and Ajax, and could see him walk for nothing in 2021 if they can't agree a contract renewal. That deadline has seen the Blaugrana publicly commit to giving Puig more minutes next season, with Vidal and Rakitic set to leave, and there's reason to think he's ready for the step up. Back in 2018, he helped Barca win the UEFA Youth League, beating a Chelsea side containing Reece James and Tammy Abraham in the final, and his vision and fluid dribbling have seen him likened to Andres Iniesta. Though extremely one-footed, he has excellent balance and a surprising burst of speed, and could represent a cheap alternative if Barcelona's finance preclude their rumoured pursuit of Miralem Pjanic. If the Catalans don't find space for Puig, he's sure to get minutes elsewhere. Perhaps in 2020 it's time for Barcelona to stop telling the world just how good La Masia is and prove they believe it by betting on one of its most exciting products in years. 3. Piotr Zieliński. Yet another player out of contract next year, Piotr Zieliński is now 25 and coming off his second season as a nailed-on starter for Napoli. The Pole, who has spent his entire professional career in Italy since joining Udinese at 17, has shone in a disappointing season for the Partner, mostly featuring in central midfield but also off the left and in the hole as Carlo Ancelotti and Gennaro Gattuso tried to get the team into gear. Changing position makes some players look average, but for Zieliński it's no problem at all. In his early days at Empoli, he put up big defensive numbers and was an outstanding dribbler, with over 3 take-ons a game, and he remains excellent at escaping pressure in the middle of the park. However, as his defensive output has declined, he's matured into an attacking force, with 2 chances created a match, And most excitingly of all, he's become one of the continent's most incisive passers, leading Italy in passes into the final third with 9 a game, more than anyone else in this season's Premier League, and behind only Eva Banega in Spain, beating Toni Kroos into 3rd place. If your team is struggling to get the ball forward or escape the press, Zieliński is a one-man solution to your woes, and would no doubt be keen on a move with Napoli almost sure to miss out on Champions League football. Previously linked with Liverpool, his form should prompt the Reds to renew their interest. 2. Milot Rashica. A name you may have heard linked with clubs from Southampton to Liverpool, Milot Rashica has developed into a solid Bundesliga wide man since he joined Werder Bremen back in 2018. The Kosovan international, who boasts 27 caps for his country at just 23 years old, can play at attacking midfield or on the wing, and this season has 11 goals and assists in around 1,700 league minutes, most of those coming on the left. That's an excellent return, though Rashica's expected goals suggest he's finished unsustainably well to hit that tally, XG putting him closer to 7 goal involvements or 0.4 per 90. That's a significant decrease on last year's 0.6, but Werder have gone from 8th to a relegation battle in those 12 months, and there's still plenty to like in Rashica's numbers. Since arriving in Germany, he has constantly taken over 3 shots a match and created a further 1.7 chances for teammates, while his current mark of 2.2 dribbles a game tops the Werder squad. Rashica's €38 million buyout clause is set to drop to just €18 million this summer, and while we think he's unlikely to be good enough for Jurgen Klopp right now, a move to a Leicester, Roma or Borussia Mönchengladbach could represent a solid next step in his career, especially if Bremen can't beat the drop. 1. Gianluigi Donnarumma. Yes, clubs may be forced to pinch the pennies this summer, but if a star like Gianluigi Donnarumma is available for a knockdown fee, it would be worth smashing open the piggy bank. Chelsea, Barcelona, Man United and Bayern Munich have all been reported as seeking a new keeper in 2020. And while Ajax's Andre Onana is most often linked, the 24-year-old could cost upwards of €40 million, meaning that Donnarumma, who has just 12 months left on his contract, might not cost much more. The Italian is 21, 3 years younger than Onana, and already has 200 appearances for club and country, missing just 2 league games over the last 3 full campaigns. In that time, he conceded 123 goals from 129 expected goals, and since he made his professional debut, he has maintained an average save percentage of 74%, higher than David De Gea and Edison's career rates. His 6'5" frame makes him commanding in the box too, with only 2 Serie A stoppers claiming a higher proportion of crosses than the youngster. And he's quick off his line, ranking behind only Atalanta's Galini for sweeping up outside the box. With most teams hamstrung by reduced matchday revenue and prize money, clubs bankrolled by wealthy owners would be wise to pick up some cut-price talent while they still have the chance. And in Donnarumma, there's a chance to secure over a decade of above-average shot stopping. This could well be the bargain of the year. So guys, that was our rundown of 10 potential bargains this summer. Get your notes out, clubs. What did you guys think of our rundown? Did we miss any out? Let us know in the comments down below. Don't forget to like the video, subscribe to the channel and leave a comment. And I'll see you next time, guys. Bye!